Love is one of the most beautiful and powerful feelings we can experience. Yet it's also one of the most confusing. From a young age, we are told stories about love, fairy tales that make it seem effortless, movies that show grand romantic gestures, and social media posts that make relationships look perfect. But real love isn't just about passion, attraction, or waiting for the right person to appear. Love is something we learn, something we practice, and something we build over time. Shetty, after years of studying relationships and drawing from his experience as a monk, explains love in a way that makes sense. He helps us see that love isn't just something that happens to us, it's something we create. And if we don't take the time to understand love, we can end up repeating the same mistakes, feeling disappointed, or struggling in relationships without knowing why. Hey everyone, I'm Bix, and welcome back to Bix Book Summary, where we break down life-changing books in a way that's simple, engaging, and easy to apply. Today we're diving into 8 Rules of Love by Shetty, a book that will change the way you think about love, whether you're single, dating, in a relationship, or healing from heartbreak. If you've ever felt lost in love, confused about relationships, or unsure why things don't seem to work out, this book will give you the answers. It will help you understand love in a way that leads to real happiness and strong, meaningful connections. By the end of this video, you'll learn what love really is and why so many people get it wrong, how to build deep, lasting relationships instead of chasing short-term attraction, why love isn't just about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person, the different stages of love, from the excitement of first attraction to a lifelong commitment, why heartbreak is a necessary part of love, and how to heal from it. Love isn't just about luck or chemistry, it's something we can learn and get better at. And the first rule? Love starts with you. Most people step into relationships hoping to find someone who will make them feel complete. They believe that the right partner will fill the emptiness inside them, making them feel whole, secure, and loved. But this is where so many people get it wrong, because love doesn't begin with another person. It begins with you. Shetty explains that before we can truly love someone else, we must first learn to understand, accept, and love ourselves. When we don't, we carry our insecurities, fears, and unhealed wounds into our relationships. We expect our partners to fix us, to make us feel worthy, and to reassure us every time we doubt ourselves. But that's not love, that's dependency. And when we rely on someone else to give us the love we deny ourselves, we set the relationship up for failure. Think about how many people enter relationships expecting their partner to make them feel confident, valued, or secure. But when their partner falls short of these expectations, frustration, disappointment, and resentment take over. The truth is, no one else can give you the love you refuse to give yourself. So how do we start building self-love? Shetty offers a simple but powerful way to check in with ourselves. Pay attention to how you treat yourself every single day. Do you speak kindly to yourself, or do you constantly criticize your flaws? Do you take care of your mental and emotional health, or do you neglect your own needs while prioritizing others? Do you set and respect your own boundaries, or do you allow people to walk over you? Loving yourself isn't about arrogance or selfishness. It's about knowing your worth so you don't enter relationships seeking validation. When you love yourself, you bring confidence instead of insecurity, peace instead of chaos, and real love instead of emotional neediness. You become whole on your own, rather than expecting someone else to complete you. This rule also teaches us an important shift in perspective. Stop searching for the perfect partner, and instead focus on becoming the kind of person you would want to be with. So many people have a list of what they want in a relationship: kindness, loyalty, trust, good communication. But they rarely stop to ask themselves, am I bringing these same qualities into my relationships? If you want deep, meaningful love, you have to be willing to grow into the kind of person who can give and receive that love. Love starts with self-awareness, self-respect, and self-care. Before you go looking for love in someone else, make sure you've built it within yourself. Because the way you love yourself sets the standard for how others will love you. But once we've learned to love ourselves, how do we navigate relationships in a way that leads to real connection instead of just temporary attraction? That's what we'll explore next. One of the biggest mistakes people make in love is chasing it. They believe that if they aren't actively searching, constantly swiping on dating apps, analyzing every interaction, or tirelessly looking for the one, they'll miss out. But Shetty explains that love isn't something you chase. It's something you attract when you're truly ready for it. Imagine water flowing through a stream. It moves naturally when the path is open, but if you try to force it, block it, or control it too much, it only creates resistance. Love works the same way. When you are in a place of self-love, emotional balance, and inner peace, love finds its way to you effortlessly. But when you chase love out of fear, loneliness, or desperation, you often attract relationships that are unbalanced, unhealthy, or based on need rather than real connection. Many people enter relationships for the wrong reasons. Some seek love to escape loneliness, others crave validation, and some simply want someone to fill an emotional void in their lives. But true love isn't about filling a gap, it's about sharing your life with someone who complements you, not someone who completes you. If you enter a relationship feeling empty, you will always depend on your partner to make you feel whole. And that's not love, that's attachment. Shetty encourages us to pause and observe our relationship patterns. Are you always drawn to emotionally unavailable partners? Does love seem to slip away just when you start to get close? Do you settle for relationships out of fear of being alone? If any of these sound familiar, it's a sign that you're searching for love outside instead of cultivating it within yourself first. The key isn't to force love, it's to focus on growth. Instead of looking for someone to love you, work on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts deep, meaningful love. Love flows effortlessly when you are aligned with yourself, content with your life, and open to connection without fear or desperation. This doesn't mean you shouldn't put yourself out there. It simply means that love should come from a place of confidence, not scarcity. If you believe that love is rare, you'll settle for less than you deserve. But if you trust that love will come when the time is right, you'll make better choices, build healthier relationships, and attract a love that is based on respect, mutual effort, and emotional stability. But once love finds us, how do we make sure it lasts? How do we keep the excitement alive and strengthen the relationship over time instead of watching it fade away? That's what we'll explore next. Falling in love is easy. The excitement, the rush of emotions, and the sense of newness make everything feel effortless. But staying in love, building a relationship that lasts, is where the real challenge begins. In the beginning, everything feels perfect, but what happens when the initial spark fades? When real life takes over, when challenges arise, and when love is no longer just about feelings, but about patience, commitment, and growth? Shetty explains that love isn't just an emotion, it's a skill. And like any skill, it requires effort, practice, and intention. Many relationships struggle because people assume love will sustain itself. But love is like a fire. If you don't take care of it, it will eventually burn out. It's not enough to fall in love. You have to continuously choose love. A lasting relationship isn't just built on attraction or passion. It needs a strong foundation of trust, respect, and shared values. Attraction may bring two people together, but what keeps them together is their ability to communicate, to support each other, and to grow as a team. One of the biggest mistakes people make is choosing a partner based solely on emotions instead of compatibility. Many couples deeply love each other but later realize they want different things in life. They have strong feelings, but their values, priorities, and communication styles don't align. And without a strong foundation, love alone isn't enough. Suggests a simple yet powerful exercise. Identify your core values and see if they align with your partner's. If one person prioritizes family but the other values independence above all, conflicts will naturally arise. If one person believes in open, honest communication while the other avoids difficult conversations, misunderstandings will grow. Love can only flourish when both people are moving in the same direction, not pulling in opposite ones. Another key to a lasting relationship is understanding how each person gives and receives love. Everyone expresses love differently, some through words, some through actions, some through quality time, and some through physical affection. If you don't recognize how your partner expresses love, you might miss the love they are already giving. And if they don't understand how you receive love, you may feel unfulfilled even in an otherwise good relationship. Building a strong foundation also means learning how to handle conflict in a healthy way. No matter how perfect a couple seems, disagreements will happen, but most people fight to win, not to understand. They argue to prove a point instead of working together to solve the problem. But monks teach a different way. They practice detachment from ego. Instead of arguing with pride, they focus on understanding and finding a solution. Rather than asking, "How can I be right?" shift the mindset to, "How can we fix this together?" The strongest relationships aren't the ones without challenges. They're the ones where both people are committed to facing challenges together. Love isn't about finding someone who never disagrees with you or someone who never upsets you. It's about finding someone who is willing to work through the difficult moments, listen, and grow alongside you. True love isn't about avoiding hard times. It's about choosing each other, even when things aren't easy. Attraction may fade. Life may become complicated. But when love is built on a foundation of trust, understanding, and shared vision, it doesn't just survive, it deepens. That's what creates real, lasting love. But even in strong relationships, there's one challenge almost every couple faces: learning how to balance love and independence. How do you stay deeply connected while still maintaining your own identity? That's what we'll explore next. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is losing themselves. In the excitement of love, they become so absorbed in their partner that they start to fade into the background. They give up their personal interests, adjust their hobbies to match their partners, and slowly forget who they were before the relationship began. Love becomes their entire world. But Shetty reminds us of something crucial. True love isn't about losing yourself in another person. It's about growing together while still holding on to who you are. At the start of a relationship, it's natural to want to spend every moment together. But over time, if two people become too dependent on each other for happiness, self-worth, or identity, the relationship stops feeling like a source of joy and starts feeling like a burden. Instead of complementing each other, they begin relying on each other for validation. And when that happens, love shifts from being something freeing to something suffocating. Monks teach that love should enhance your individuality, not erase it. A relationship should feel like a home you return to, not a cage that traps you. The healthiest relationships are the ones where both people have their own passions, friendships, and personal growth while still making time for deep connection. Love should never require you to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's world. Jay encourages us to ask an important question. Am I bringing my best self into this relationship? If your entire identity is wrapped up in your partner, you might start feeling exhausted, resentful, or even afraid. Afraid that if the relationship ends, you won't know who you are anymore. But when you maintain a strong sense of self, love becomes something you share, not something you depend on for survival. One of the best ways to balance love and independence is to make time for yourself. This doesn't mean creating distance from your partner. It means continuing to grow as an individual while growing together as a couple. Keep pursuing your personal goals. Stay connected with friends. Engage in hobbies and passions that bring you joy outside of the relationship. When both partners feel fulfilled as individuals, the relationship naturally becomes stronger and healthier. Another key lesson is respecting each other's need for space. Some people recharge by being alone, while others feel energized through connection. If you or your partner need moments of solitude, it doesn't mean love is fading. It simply means personal balance is being maintained. Instead of feeling rejected, trust that space in a relationship isn't about creating distance. It's about allowing room for personal reflection, self-care, and growth. And when two people feel free within their love, they always return to each other stronger. When love is balanced, it creates a relationship where two individuals grow side by side, not tangled up in each other. Instead of one person sacrificing their dreams or identity, both feel supported to become the best versions of themselves. And in the end, that's what keeps love exciting, inspiring, and alive. But even in the healthiest relationships, challenges will arise. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and unexpected struggles are part of every love story. The difference between relationships that last and those that fall apart is how couples handle conflict. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. No matter how strong a relationship is, conflict is inevitable. Every couple, no matter how deeply in love, will face disagreements, misunderstandings, and emotional triggers. But what separates relationships that last from those that fall apart isn't the presence of conflict. It's how that conflict is handled. Many people believe that arguments mean a relationship is broken, but Shetty explains that disagreements aren't the problem. The real issue lies in how we communicate through them. One of the biggest mistakes couples make during conflict is treating each other as opponents rather than teammates. Instead of trying to understand one another, they focus on proving their point, winning the argument, or making the other person feel guilty. But monks teach a different perspective. Conflict should never be about attacking, but about understanding. The moment both people shift from a me versus you mindset to an us versus the problem mindset, everything changes. Jay introduces a simple but powerful concept. Argue to resolve, not to win. When we argue with the goal of proving we're right, we might win the battle, but lose the connection. Instead of blaming, healthy couples focus on solutions. Rather than saying, "You never listen to me," say, "I feel unheard when we have these conversations. Can we find a better way to communicate?" This small shift in language prevents defensiveness and creates space for an open, honest discussion. One of the main reasons conflicts escalate is that people argue when they're emotionally overwhelmed. When frustration takes over, words are spoken that can't be taken back. That's why Jay suggests one of the oldest monk techniques, the pause. If a conversation is becoming too heated, take a break. Step away, breathe, and return when both of you are calm enough to listen instead of react. Fighting in the heat of the moment often leads to saying things that aren't true or necessary. But when you come back with a clear mind, you can communicate from a place of love rather than frustration. Another key lesson monks teach is detachment from ego. The root of most conflicts isn't the issue itself, it's pride. People want to be right more than they want to understand. But in love, ego has no place. The real question isn't who's right, but how can we move forward together? A healthy relationship isn't about keeping score. It's about finding solutions that strengthen the connection rather than tear it apart. The truth is, strong relationships aren't built on avoiding conflict, but on learning how to navigate it with patience, love, and respect. When couples argue with the goal of understanding rather than attacking, disagreements stop being something that weakens the relationship. Instead, they become opportunities for growth, deeper connection, and trust. But conflict isn't the only challenge love brings. One of the hardest things anyone can go through is heartbreak, the loss of a relationship they believed would last. The pain of losing love can feel overwhelming, and many people struggle to move on. The real question is, how do you heal from a love that didn't work out? And more importantly, how do you open your heart again instead of shutting yourself off from love forever? That's what we'll explore next. Few things in life hurt as much as heartbreak. When a relationship ends, whether through a breakup, betrayal, or distance, it can feel like your entire world is falling apart. The pain is raw. The memories keep replaying in your mind, and the future suddenly feels uncertain. Many people struggle to move on, stuck in a cycle of questioning what went wrong, blaming themselves, or holding on to the hope that things might go back to how they were. But Shetty explains that heartbreak isn't just something to endure, it's something to grow from. Monks teach that suffering doesn't come from loss itself, but from our attachment to what was. We hold on to the belief that love should have lasted forever. We resist reality. We fight against the truth that things have changed. And that resistance is what creates the deepest pain. The first step to healing isn't about forcing yourself to move on. It's about accepting that the relationship served its purpose and is now part of your past, not your future. Many people believe that time alone heals heartbreak, but time only helps if you use it wisely. If you spend months replaying the past, checking your ex's social media, or avoiding your emotions, time does nothing. Healing is an active process. Jay suggests starting with forgiveness, not just for your ex, but for yourself. Many people carry guilt, wondering what they could have done differently. But monks teach that the past cannot be changed. It can only be learned from. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" shift your perspective and ask, "What did this teach me?" One of the biggest mistakes people make after heartbreak is jumping into a new relationship too quickly. The rebound trap is tempting, using someone else to fill the emptiness and distract from the pain. But love isn't about replacing one person with another. If you don't take time to heal, you'll carry the same wounds, insecurities, and unhealthy patterns into your next relationship. The best way to move forward isn't to find someone new. It's to rediscover yourself. A powerful way to heal is learning to let go with gratitude. Instead of focusing only on the pain, acknowledge what the relationship gave you. The lessons, the memories, the moments of joy. Every person who enters your life teaches you something. Even love that didn't last forever still had value, and it still mattered. When you can look back with gratitude instead of resentment, you free yourself from the weight of heartbreak. Healing doesn't mean pretending the pain isn't there or trying to forget. It means accepting that the chapter has ended, honoring what it meant to you, and making the choice to move forward with an open heart. Love lost is not love wasted. Every experience shapes you, teaches you, and prepares you for the love that is truly meant for you. But after heartbreak, how do you open yourself up to love again? How do you trust, connect, and embrace love without fear? That's what we'll explore next. After heartbreak, many people struggle to trust love again. They build walls around their hearts, believing that if they keep love at a distance, they can protect themselves from being hurt again. They avoid deep connections, become guarded, and hesitate to let anyone in. But Shetty reminds us that shutting yourself off from love doesn't keep you safe. It only keeps you from experiencing something beautiful again. Monks teach that love is like the changing seasons. Just because winter arrives doesn't mean spring won't follow. Heartbreak is like winter, cold, painful, and sometimes unbearable, but it is never permanent. Healing is the slow transition into spring. It takes time, but love will bloom again when you're ready to receive it. The key is letting go of the fear that love will always end in pain. If you carry past wounds into new relationships, you won't experience love for what it is. You'll see it through the lens of past hurt, expecting history to repeat itself. Jay encourages people to ask themselves, am I protecting myself, or am I avoiding love out of fear? There's a big difference between being cautious and being completely closed off. Taking time to heal is important, but staying in a place of fear means you're punishing yourself for something someone else did. Love didn't hurt you. Someone who didn't know how to love you properly did. And that doesn't mean love itself isn't worth trying again. One of the biggest mistakes people make when opening their hearts again is expecting love to look the same as before. They compare new relationships to old ones, fearing that past mistakes will repeat themselves. But every love is different. Every person is different. Instead of looking for something familiar, look for something that feels healthy, peaceful, and aligned with the person you are now. Jay also reminds us that love isn't just about finding the right person. It's about choosing to love differently this time. If you used to rush into relationships, take your time. If you used to ignore red flags, pay attention. If you once prioritized attraction over emotional connection, choose deeper bonds. Growth means loving from a place of wisdom, not impulse. Monks practice patience and compassion when it comes to love. They don't rush the process. They trust that love will come when the time is right. And in the meantime, they focus on becoming the best version of themselves. Love should never feel like something you have to chase. It should be something that flows into your life naturally when you're ready to embrace it. If you've been hurt before, let love be different this time. Don't let past pain define your future. Your heart is meant to love again. Not in the same way, but in a way that is wiser, stronger, and more fulfilling. But the real challenge in love isn't just opening your heart. It's learning how to make love last. Falling in love is easy, but keeping love alive takes effort, understanding, and commitment. And that's what we'll talk about next. Falling in love is exhilarating. It feels effortless, full of possibilities, and charged with excitement. But staying in love, that's where the real work begins. It requires effort, patience, and a commitment to growth. Many relationships start with passion, but over time, daily routines take over, excitement fades, and small disagreements turn into deeper conflicts. Shetty explains that lasting love isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about learning how to navigate them together with understanding, respect, and a shared vision for the future. One of the biggest misconceptions about love is that it should always feel the way it did in the beginning. Many people believe that if the excitement fades, the love must be fading too. But love isn't just a feeling. It's a practice, a habit, a choice we make every single day. Just like physical health requires regular exercise and a balanced diet, emotional health in a relationship needs consistent care, communication, and connection. Monks understand that the key to lasting love is presence. Many couples don't grow apart because love disappears. They grow apart because they stop prioritizing each other. They get caught up in work, stress, and responsibilities, slowly neglecting the connection that brought them together in the first place. Jay encourages couples to create simple daily rituals that strengthen their bond, whether it's having meaningful conversations, expressing appreciation, or spending uninterrupted time together without distractions. Love doesn't just survive on grand gestures, it thrives in the small, everyday moments. One of the most powerful lessons in this book is that love is a choice. Many people expect love to always feel effortless, but real love is something we actively choose. Every day, you decide how you show up in your relationship. You decide whether you listen with patience or react with frustration. You decide whether you express gratitude for the little things or take them for granted. Love that lasts isn't about never facing difficulties. It's about showing up for each other through every season, every struggle, and every moment of joy. Jay also emphasizes the importance of growing together. People change over time, and relationships can only last if both partners are willing to grow together rather than drift apart. If one person is focused on self-improvement while the other remains stagnant, resentment and distance can build. That's why strong couples don't just love each other, they inspire each other. They encourage each other's dreams, support personal growth, and celebrate progress. A relationship isn't just about where you are today, it's about who you are becoming together. Another key to keeping love alive is maintaining curiosity. Many relationships fall into routine, where partners assume they already know everything about each other. But true love isn't just about knowing, it's about continuously discovering. Even after years together, the strongest couples keep asking deep questions, sharing their thoughts and dreams, and creating new experiences together. They never stop learning about each other, and that keeps the connection fresh and exciting. Jay reminds us that love isn't something you find, it's something you build. It doesn't just happen on its own. It's created through daily choices, intentional actions, and a deep commitment to growing together. A relationship that lasts isn't one that avoids struggle. It's one where both people choose to work through challenges hand in hand, over and over again. At this point, we've explored what love really is. How to build deep connections, how to heal from heartbreak, and how to make love last. But the final message in this book is perhaps the most powerful. Love isn't just something we experience in relationships. It's a way of life. And that's what we'll wrap up with next. Love isn't just something that exists within romantic relationships. It's not confined to soulmates, partners, or fairy tale endings. Jay Shetty teaches us that love is much bigger than that. It's a way of life. It's something we practice in every interaction, in every relationship, and in the way we show up in the world. The love we give to ourselves, the kindness we extend to friends and family, the patience we offer to strangers, all of it is an expression of love. Most people think of love as something they receive, something they wait for, or something they need to find. But monks see love differently. To them, love is something you give, freely, without expectation, without attachment, and without needing it to be returned in a specific way. When we shift our mindset from what can I get from love to how can I give love freely, everything changes. Love stops being something we chase and starts being something we embody. One of the most important lessons Jay shares is that real love is selfless, but it isn't self-sacrificing. Many people mistake love for constantly giving to others at the expense of their own well-being. But true love includes healthy boundaries. It's not about losing yourself in someone else. It's about bringing the best version of yourself to every relationship. It's about knowing deep down that you are worthy of love exactly as you are. Not because you've earned it, proved it, or chased it, but because love is something you are. When you start seeing love as something you create, you no longer feel like you're at the mercy of relationships. You stop looking for love to fill an emptiness inside you. Instead, you bring love into everything you do. You become more patient, more kind, more understanding, not because you're expecting anything in return, but because love is meant to flow through you, not just to you. Love isn't something that exists only in one perfect relationship or in one magical moment. It's something that can be found everywhere, in the way you think, in the way you speak, and in the way you connect with the world. Monks believe that the highest form of love is compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. Too often, people hold on to regrets, mistakes, or self-criticism, believing they are unworthy of love. But love starts with forgiveness, acceptance, and treating yourself with the same kindness you so easily offer to others. At the end of the day, love isn't just about who we're with, it's about how we live. It's in the patience we practice, the way we listen, the kindness we extend, and the way we uplift those around us. Love isn't something limited to grand gestures or special moments. It's found in the smallest, simplest acts of care and connection. The more love we give, the more love we create, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of everyone we touch. And that is the ultimate lesson of 8 Rules of Love. Love isn't something to find, chase, or wait for. Love is something we are. If there's one message that stands out from 8 Rules of Love, it's this. Love isn't something we find. It's something we learn, practice, and create. Love isn't about waiting for the perfect person or the perfect relationship. It's about becoming someone who knows how to love, with depth, with kindness, and with intention. The strongest relationships aren't the ones that never face challenges. They're the ones where both people are committed to learning, growing, and choosing love. Not just in the good times, but every single day. True love isn't about avoiding difficulties. It's about facing them together, with patience, understanding, and a shared commitment to becoming better for each other and for the relationship. Love isn't just about passion, it's about patience. It isn't just about receiving, it's about giving. It isn't just about who you love, it's about how you love. Love is present in the way you treat yourself, in the way you show up for your friends and family, and in the way you move through the world with compassion and kindness. So here's the challenge. Start living with love today. Love isn't just meant for relationships, it's meant for every part of your life. Show up with kindness. Express love in the small moments. Be present, be grateful, and recognize the love that already surrounds you. And most importantly, remember this. You are worthy of love, not because of what you do, but simply because of who you are. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Bix Book Summary. If you want to dive deeper into these powerful teachings, check out the link in the description to grab your own copy of 8 Rules of Love. I truly appreciate your support. Until next time, love deeply, live fully, and keep growing.